Hello, hello, good morning, happy Thursday. How are you all doing today? Let's see. I have some drop frames today, although that's going down. We had 582 when I first started. The percentage is dropping pretty quickly. Also, my kilobits per second is extremely high, like much higher than it was last time. So you may notice from the background that I've changed locations. I'm in a different room closer to where the Wi-Fi router is. So that is most likely helping things out a lot. Let's see, where's yeah, now I've got chat up so I can open up you down there. You don't need to see the doc. So yeah, that's sounding pretty good. I can still switch over and take a look at OBS without you seeing it because apparently that's now a feature I can block it. I upped the I did a couple more changes also at the same time. So CPU rate is 14% instead of 7% for encoding, and I gave it a huge buffer. Um, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it's trying to do like 4,000 kilobits per second, but showing that as red. That was interesting. I don't know why it would be that because it's like I set it to be 32 max, so I don't know why it's trying to do more than that. But anyways, things should be good. Let's see. Are you still working? I'm still seeing the starting soon screen on. Okay, there it goes. My preview on Restream was frozen again. But okay, so I've got chat going up over there so I can see chat from both streams. I can check OBS to take a look at what's going on. So far, we've had some drop frames, which like I'm right next to a wall. So maybe that has something to do with it. Also, Wi-Fi. I'm on battery this time instead of a power because I couldn't uncover any of the power outlets before we started. So that's a thing. And do okay. All right, so let's go ahead and try this out. See how everything goes. But so far, I'm much happier with this position. It's much better. So that being said, switch over to you. Now, if I remember correctly, it's been like a couple days. Expect me to remember what happened a couple days ago. We did the lesson on using transactions. That's what it was. Did we do both bulk inserts and using transactions, or just one of them? I can't remember anymore. But all right, so joins with diesel. So inner left right joins joining with belongs to. Right. Okay. So basically, just manual joins, and then the sort of the built-in the ORM style of it. Well, that's fun. Uh my preview is dying. I have no idea if the chat is working, but the preview video is dying and not happy. Now, if I take a look at what am I looking at? I'm looking at yeah. I want to load up Twitch on my phone so I can at least make sure that chat is working because it's hard to see sometimes. So let me just do a quick hello. Okay, I do see that. Perfect. Excellent. That's good. So let's go ahead and continue on. I'll leave that there, maybe over here. So I have lots of places to look at chat right now. I don't know how long the delay is. I would expect that it's going to be up like pretty significantly long. I upped the buffer to, well, so I changed the encoder again. We went back to the first one that was working pretty well. And I also upped the buffer to a huge buffer, and I switched what the CPU profile was. So I think those things together, they're using more CPU. Don't want to do that. I want to use the U over here. I'm using more CPU, 15% now, but getting a few drop frames. We got no drop frames previously, which is interesting. But my kilobits per second is higher. So I wonder if I'm now trying to push too much through. That could be it too. I may need to like drop down. But we'll play around with it. But at least I think things are looking better. And this is also on the same Mac that I'm programming on. If I get a Windows desktop over here, it'll be even better because then I might be able to figure out a way to run a cable across and then not have to worry about Wi-Fi. And then if that's not a possibility, I can do a relay, which is not the best, but at least it would be better because I put the relay somewhere which have like a little bit clearer communication with like the main and then Ethernet into that. So still like not necessarily optimal, but a lot more optimal. Fakir, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to. What is this though? So diesel joins. So this is um. So join two tables manually with diesel. Use belongs to join two tables with use belongs to join two tables with a relationship in the model. Or I guess like use belongs to join two tables using the ORM tools. I don't know. Maybe just that for right now. Oh, you're doing good? Excellent. That's good to hear. All right. So, how's the stream look to you? Is it's hard for me to tell because the only stream that's not freezing for me is on my phone. And as you can imagine, that's pretty that is pretty what do you call that? That's like really small. So I can't really see anything. Plus, I don't have it like right in front of me. I have it farther away. So that's the thing. Okay. And I just pulled out a USB thing out of my computer, and the USB cover just came off, which that's also really cool. But okay, trying to reduce the number of things that I have charging off my computer while at the same time that I'm streaming on battery, which is also a little bit not perfect. I might even get less drop frames if I had the computer plugged in, but this house is a bit older, and so therefore it's not quite as not quite as nice. Um, there's like the power plugs in this room don't have grounds on them. So plugging things in that require a ground is, it's a thing. All right. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to join two tables manually with Diesel. Use belongs to join two tables. All right. So how do I want to start with this? Maybe just like the entire point. So um the entire point of using a relational database like Postgres is to be able to join multiple tables together. Today video quality is nicer than the last time. Excellent. That's good to hear. So I think you joined after I explained, but I made some minor adjustments to OBS again, and I moved as close to the router as possible in this sort of house. I am right next to a wall, which I don't know how old the paint is. It's certainly possible that it has lead paint in it, which sucks. But hopefully that's not causing too many drop frames. But yeah, I definitely see the amount of bandwidth I'm sending out is way higher, and so far we haven't had any drops, which is that's a big improvement already. So that's a good thing. Unless of course I did something wrong with these settings. Hold on, let me check it really quickly. Output, yeah, bitrate on video I have out as 3200 with a gigantic frame size. I set my CPU usage to medium. I was fastest last time, and profile main instead of high. But so far it's good. Now we haven't tried compiling anything yet. So maybe everything will just sort of drop down and not be happy once that happens. But despite me saying 3,200 kilobits per second sending out, I am sending out more than that, which I didn't think that OBS would do. So that's interesting. Oh, also I'm recording at the same time. Let me turn off the recording. I forgot that I have that turned on automatically. That should probably save some CPU. Okay, so let's jump back into this. The entire point of using a relational database like Postgres is to be able to join multiple tables together. Um, while I'm not using that keyboard, it's just a couple rooms down that way, but apparently it's far enough away that it can sort of join and rejoin. That's annoying. Okay, so uh, we have two ways of doing joins in Diesel. A manual way, where we use the query builder. This is great for tables that don't have relationships set. Actually, no. Either way, it doesn't matter if you have the relationship set in the database or not. So really, it's just uh this works. Let's see, a manual way where we use a query builder and um and a method uh provided when we set a relationship up on the models. Yes, I know I did set do not disturb. There we go. All right. So I want to say in my opinion, but I don't necessarily want to say that here too. When possible, uh, it's a good idea to um, use the methods uh, provided by the ORM by Diesel by Diesel. However, these are only available in child parent relationships, as therefore any other, let's see, what is it? Any other um any other types of relationships need to use the query builder. Let's um let's implement some query. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do? We can do both the, let's see, we have get pets, and then it shows the species. I think that works. So let's implement a join in the show pets um, bin to also show the name of the species for each pet. Now, this is a parent child, so I think both would work. While both uh, both join methods will work, we'll use both of them to show off how to do them. All right, so let's ourselves go and implement this. So we'll do we want to use the manual query builder first? Maybe we'll do the manual query builder first because I think for most people, this will make the most sense. So I'm glad that like figured out that I was on Helix this time. That was nice. All right, so first off, in pets queries, so when we get all pets, or rather, let me let's actually run this. I want to do run bin show pets. So when I run that, I guess it's already mostly compiled. I didn't really get that big of a hit. Everything still seems fine. I am dropping like 11% of frames, which isn't great, and that's a change from last time. But the stream quality is significantly higher. So that's also nice. All right. So yeah, here this is where we have Zilby 43 Yeah, so this is what we want right here. We want that to be a name. All right, so I kind of want to grab you. Yes, I know you're losing the connection to that. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be okay. I want here. Uh, as a reminder, when we run the show pets command, we get the pet names and the ID of the species, but that's it. Okay, I kind of don't want a bunch of I screwed up appas. So let's just do that for right now. Okay, so to um to fix this, we'll update the get all pets. Yeah, we'll update the get all pets function. Function in the pet queries file to what are we gonna have it do? To also return the associated what is it called? The associated species for each pet. Here's the. That doesn't look right. That looks like I'm saying Harry's, but here's. I think that's still right. Here's the starting. Um, here's the starting code for the get all pets that were all synced up on um, on this before we add new code. Spencer, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so we want to grab both of them. Now, it's been a little while since I've done this, so I will. I'm pretty sure that the way this works is that we're now going to return a tuple of pet and species. We do pet belongs to species, if I remember correctly. So we kind of want uh, pet. Is it belongs to, or is it after select? Let me drop you out. We do pets. Uh, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for that. I'm pretty happy with the stream quality today. I moved closer to the router and things are looking pretty good. At least quality wise. The delay is still pretty long, but that's a trade off, right? That's just something we'd have to get used to. And I'm certain that there would still be drops and other things that would come up, but they would hopefully be a lot less often than other ones, than other times. But okay, so you pet select. Okay, so uh, now pets. Oh, I'm doing manual, not the belongs to. So I want to do an inner. Do I want to do an inner join or an outer join? Long time no see? Yeah, definitely. And I hope you've been doing good too. What do I want to do for a join on this? It definitely has all the things. So we could do inner join. I actually don't know if it matters which join we do in this specific case because there's nothing that could be nullable. So we might I might as well just do an inner join. If you have invoked joinable for the two tables, you can pass that table directly. Otherwise, you will need to use on to specify the on clause. Ooh, okay. So inner join. Um, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this on a table, right? So we have to do table. Now I can do okay. Inner join. The right hand side. The right hand side is the other table. So this is gonna be the okay. Species. I want. Do I have multiple things? I don't know if I have multiple things here. So I kind of want to do the entire things. Well, so the problem, Spencer, is that I do know multiple Spencers. And so I forget exactly where, when, that kind of thing. Like, it's a problem that I have where I know a lot of people, and then eventually my brain just sort of broke with people, and now it's like, okay, well, I remember who you are, but I don't remember enough to like really lock it down in my brain, if that makes any sense. Which is unfortunate. I hate that. I'm super sorry about that. But I yeah. It's one of those things where like it's much better for me to see somebody because then I can get like facial, I can get more context, I can get all those things, and then that helps trigger my memory. Like the context of things is a lot better than just names, unfortunately. Sylvie, hi, want to come up here? Do you want to try? I'm sort of wedged into a place, so Zilby can't really like come in. Also, somehow he didn't see me at all. So when I said hi to him, he sort of was like, "Oh, what are you doing here? You shocked me." Hi, come here. He's just gonna stay there. Okay, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to come hang out, and it's too hard for me to get out and join him. Okay, so inner join. We could put it in the table, right? So this is gonna be the crate. I think we talked about streaming and different things, names and stuff, and Rust. Was it at one of the meetups in Denver? Like I feel I'm trying to remember if it was at like Develop Happy Hour or something. There's a few of those sort of like meetups in Denver, and I have met like some people, and I vaguely remember meeting a Spencer at one of those, and so I would guess that that would be you. And then different name stuff in Rust, yeah, that part helps. Yeah. Ghoul, hello. How are you doing today? This is crazy. Seeing this live stream randomly while writing your first program in Rust using Diesel. Nice. How are you enjoying Rust? And obviously, how are you enjoying Diesel? Why are you not helping me? I guess I'll just do that. Fine. Diesel, and then you need the table, right? So table. Oh, I know what I could have done. We already had the other thing. I could have just done species table. That would have worked too. Let's get rid of this other species that I did. Don't need that. Okay. Uh, Xanther, hello. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. Nice. It's great to see you too. Okay. Inner join species table, and then at this point, oh, we have to do a select, right? Yeah, select. And then I want to select, I think it's a tuple, and we select both things. So let's say I want everything of both, right? So I want pets. Oh, pet. I want pet as select and species as select. We want to filter. You're coming from a 3 years of Python, so Rust is definitely very different. Ownership and borrowing is so unhappy face. Um, yeah, okay, so I can definitely see that, Ghoul. I'm doing excellent. Just God willingly upgrade my old laptop to 16 gigabytes of RAM and an NVMe SSDs. He should have much better developer. Oh yeah, SSDs really improve developer experience by a huge amount. Oh, 15 plus minutes to compile. Okay, so it should be significantly better. That's like one of the things is like the expensive laptops really do make a difference when it comes to compile speed for a lot of things. And that's not even just Rust. Like if it's getting slow for C, C sharp, Java, Rust, like heck, even JavaScript, TypeScript, all those things can start getting pretty slow and on a low memory system without an SSD. So yeah, those things all always happen. Oh yeah, but what name to use, real name or nickname? Yeah, you know, you know what's also interesting is I've noticed a lot of people that start with nicknames or don't use names, especially in like the coding arena, eventually switch to having their real names. And I haven't really asked any of them why they made the switch yet. I probably should at some point in time. But I don't really know too many of them. I just know CJ. That's the only other streamer that I really sort of like know enough to be able to go and ask him of anything. And even then, I don't chat with him that often. Almost 10 minutes to boot into Windows. Oh yeah, that needs to improve. That's pretty. That's bad. That's not great. Xanther, you need assistance on some project you're working on with MS SQL, Tiberius, and having issues with formatting and return value. I have tried it but failed, especially in dealing with decimal and count query. Return value parsing, any solution will. You're having issue with formatting return value. So let's see, with decimal, as long as it's not money, then floats are perfectly fine to use. Or at least as maybe a better thing to say is as long as it's not what you care about. Now, I personally don't have much experience with MS SQL. I took a class on it like in 2002 or something like that. It was like 2002, 2003. That was a long time ago. That's like almost 20 years ago is when when I touched MS SQL, and then I haven't touched it since then. And that was just a class too. That wasn't like I've never used it in production. Now, if I remember correctly, the basics of it are pretty the same, but they use like Jet SQL or something like that as their language instead of normal SQL, I would assume that you can still format it. And if you can't format it, then just format it in application code as soon as you get back. So as long as you got a number back and you can turn it into a number, you can format it there. Is that? But yeah, besides that, I don't know if I can help you with that. So return value parsing, any solution will be, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so if you can just get a consistent thing back, you'll be able to parse it. And if you have a typed language, then you'll parse it into like whatever struct or object or dict or whatever it is that you're working, whatever language it is you're working with. If it's more like JavaScript where it's untyped, then just reach in, grab it, and hopefully it's there. That that's sort of that's sort of how the untyped languages work. Is like just hope and pray. But yeah, I know that's not super helpful when it comes to like all of this, but hopefully it's at least a little bit helpful. Okay, filter. I want to filter with this. So this is gonna be uh do we have a deleted at for pets? I think we do. Well, actually this is off of pets, isn't it? I almost just pointed at the screen. That's really cool of me. Deleted at is null. Okay, so we do that. We're going to just load everything. So load DB, and then we'll context hitting all pets with their species. Let's see if this works. Okay, so you don't. Oh, get all pets is now really unhappy. So now we have to change all of these. So yeah, because now it's a tuple where we get both of these, which is fine. So we pet species, but if we don't care about the species, we just underscore it, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Miss some with chat. Let me. You got a question though? Oh, so Ghoul. You got a question though, and so before I go into this, I am aware of how like bad the stream delay is. So sorry about that. I probably should figure out. I have it like on my list to do to figure out a better, like a good stream overlay where I can put in like a message of like stream delay is really friggin' bad. Maybe we can do sort of like an automated thing. I think didn't like Pirate Software do something like that at one point in time. Somebody did something like that, and I saw it. It would look pretty cool. I might want to implement my own because uh, streaming on Starlink internet is introducing a huge delay, but we've got the quality at least decently good now. Although every once in a while there's a little hiccup and a pause, but it's not nearly as bad as it was earlier in the week. So that's good. Okay. So basically, when I respond to comments, it might take me a while to get there, but I will get there. It just might look long for you. Okay, so cool. I got a question though. I'm a very compartmentalized programmer, so object oriented programming is always the best thing for me. But from reading different blogs and articles, I've seen that OOP and Rust can be quite challenging and not the best approach. What are your thoughts on this? For example, if I create a user struct, I'd like to implement the basic CRUD functions for it, but looking at other people's code bases, they seem to separate everything into different functions instead of just implementing everything in one struct. I guess um, you can use object oriented and everything in your mind is going to work exactly the way you think it does in object oriented programming until you start to try to do inheritance. And then everything sort of falls apart because there is no inheritance in Rust. Like you can't get it. But with basic objects where you just have like a struct and you mental model that as the blueprint, because like we do use the blueprint sort of metaphor with objects in like other languages. You said you were in Python, right? So like a Python class is a blueprint for the object or the instance, and then you go from there. So perfectly fine to use that as our mentality for this. Now, the issue comes in when you do want to start sharing code across different things. And you might think, great, traits is where that's at. Traits is going to give you inheritance, but that's not exactly quite right. Traits lets you kind of sort of share things, but you have to invert your thinking and do it in a different way, which is out of scope for today. I'm not going to go into that because that's an entire big beast of like how to implement that, but it is possible. But the question starts being, how much, like, are you starting to fight the system and fight the language a little bit too much by the time you get to that point? And the answer is it depends. Like at that point, it's going to be one of those, maybe it's right, maybe it's not right. It's what works for you. What's the appropriate thing? Who knows? So basically, the end result is it's perfectly fine to stay with that. That's how exactly what I came into Rest with, was like that very object oriented mentality. I still sort of fall back on that when building structs and other things, but if you start running into performance issues, or you start running into like memory, like a memory problems where like, oh man, I need to like have mutable access to the struct multiple times in nested loops in order to do stuff. That's the time to start saying, well, maybe a more functional approach is going to be helpful here because it allows me to structure the data in a different way. Does that make sense? That's um and that there are different exercises that you can do to sort of learn that. So a one sort of like a game dev type thing would be an entity component system is data driven design. So you're actually using more data. You're structuring the data in order to um, you're structuring the data first in different ways. They're still using structs, but not in the same ways that you would normally use them. Definitely not pretending that structs are classes. And then that sort of leads you into creating your separate functions, as you were talking about, to manipulate that data, and suddenly things become easier, at least in cases where it was very difficult in a more object oriented mindset. So I would just say you're perfectly fine for right now. Everything's okay to stay with that mindset. Just keep in mind that at some point, when things get too hard memory management wise, there might be a better way, and that's where it's like, hey, we can chat about that. We can figure that out, and then in figuring that out, you'll hopefully learn something, and then be able to take that tool in to the next thing. Xanther, same here, man. You'll never use it again for the next 20 years. Okay. Well, sorry about that, and good luck. Also, cool. Starlink, how was that? So I visited here, this location, away from like my where I was where I normally live. Although I'm gonna be moving here full time sometime in the next year, so this is gonna become like the norm. Uh, Several years ago, Starlink was okay in this area, and um, that's fine. Like Starlink is okay. But then every year when I would come back and visit again, it's gotten better and better and better as more of the satellites got deployed. And so at this point in time, we're getting pretty good internet. Like to give an example, last time I was here, I did a download test. And my favorite method of downloading test is to download, well, right now, I did a download test of some AI models, like LM models, because those are really big. And I find that though that's better than like a traditional internet test because the ISPs, including Starlink, probably will cheat on those and prioritize that traffic in order to give a better number than what you're actually getting normally. So I did that, and the download was actually, decently fast. It was pretty good. I went to a WeWork um, in town, and I did the same download test there, and it was slower. So in that case, the download speed was really fast. Now upload, it's not super great. I am My upload is capped. Well, I was trying to cap it at 3200 kilobits per second. I am getting It's bouncing around so that the latency, is that the latency? Might not be the right word for this. The throughput of the upload is sort of all over the place. So I do have a huge buffer on it to try to help with that, and it does to an extent, but that does increase the delay that you're seeing. But yeah, it every once in a while it drops down. That's why you see like the hitching every sort of once in a while, or like a weirdness. But and it's taken like this trip. I've been here for a week, and it's taken me several tries to get OBS to do anything proper. And I think the biggest issue that I'm running into right now is that I'm far away from the router and I can't plug in Ethernet wise, because obviously that would help a lot. I'm in a different house than the Ethernet. Sorry, than the Wi-Fi. So that's suboptimal, as some would say. Xanther, there is no inheritance, but there are super traits that are replaceable to that in Rust. Yes, I I would agree, but I still would probably not have the mentality of like them taking the place of inheritance, mostly because I believe that it's like if we want to switch into like how Rust wants it to be programmed and to fight less often, we should probably just try to drop the word inheritance from from our Rust vocabulary and not try to like recreate OOP, but figure out what type of OOP. uh I mean, it's like not really necessarily like OOP. It's like sort of like it's sort of like how I would often claim that Rust tricks you into functional programming by making it feel like more OOP, but it's sort of like a hybrid. I think that that's what it really is. It's like you're not able to do full OP, you're able to do full functional, but you don't have to, and you can sort of merge the two very easily. And it just feels good once you get to the point where you've accepted that and you've twisted your brain, right? Because you have to twist it just a little bit to sort of now see it from a different angle, which takes a while. But this is one of the reasons why it's so important in my mind. Now I'm a teacher, so that's I'm one of those people. It's a good idea to learn multiple things, right? Because then you have different angles to think of things from. Like if you play games, like let's say League of Legends, which I don't really play, but I'll use an example anyways. You have a hero. Uh, I don't know between you. Let's say you're playing Ash. I know Ash. And you want to play against who's another lane hero with Ash? Fiddlesticks, I think. So you want to learn Ash better, and so you also every once in a while play a different character, like Fiddlesticks or any of the other ones. And when you come back to Ash after getting good at the other characters, you find that you're better at your main character. I feel that this is the exact same thing in programming. If you want to get really good at one programming language, learn many programming languages. It's just having well rounded means that you don't get too set in one way of thinking for a language, and you can bring those back together. All right, Ghoul. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you on Discord. Danny, hello. How are you doing? Is it Danny or Danny? Bold take, but Diesel shouldn't make the query to the database and only provide their query builder, not the executor. Do you mean that Diesel should just build the SQL and then we take that SQL and pass it directly into the Postgres driver, and then that like sort of like we implement both of those together, so that we as the developer would then say, hey Diesel, build me the SQL, and then I take that SQL and say, hey Postgres, run the SQL. Is that what you mean? I've never thought about that before. I've always like used libraries in any language that implement the two of them together, but I can definitely I can see something like that. I've never tried that before. That might be a good like sort of thing to think about. Ghoul, I understand. Yes, functional approaches are definitely new to you, but they definitely do work and is fast. Yes, that's very true. Parrot or Perry, hello. How are you doing today? Can you make a video where you use Rust tooling to make a production level application with CRUD deployable on a VPS with Docker? As the only person who can do it. I kind of have done that. I so I have a course on YouTube where we deploy a blog to DigitalOcean. Now the blog we did was the Rust book blog, so it's kind of just like I think there's like one or two videos where like here we're set the blog, and then the entire rest of the course is deployment and configuration setting up of the VPS. So maybe that's what you're looking for. Is that so? I may have already done that. Uh, but yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for any DevOps and systems administration type work, because that's what I did professionally for the first 8 plus 8, 9, 10 years of my career. So that's I do enjoy that kind of work. Also, you really love the Rust content. Well, thank you for that. I'm glad it's helpful. All right, I think we're caught up with chat. Let's continue on with this. Okay, so which pet would you like to feed? Okay, so oh right. For because I get this, so you need to be that species. This is feed pet, and I don't care about the species, so I can just do that. That's good. Xanther, what should be entry point for new Rust dev and industry? Does it be blockchain or more on web and MERN replaceable as companies are still in adopting phase for Rust? I I think that you should get a job in uh, blockchain or Web3 or crypto or whatever people call it. If you're that's a passion that you have. I don't think that anybody who wants to get into Rust should go into that space, because I think a lot of the problems that domain are not necessarily going to be transferable to sort of like more traditional uh application design. So and really, like, if we think about it, we have like those three different areas, right? We have application building, we have web, and then we have crypto. We probably have AI as maybe a fourth one that's coming up. By AI, I mean like the implementing the AI from scratch, not using the AI, because that's just application building. Like any, all three of the other sides will use that. So that being said, yeah, I wouldn't agree going into crypto just to get a Rust job. I would only recommend going into crypto if you are passionate about crypto and you really want to get into crypto. Therefore, get into crypto. Um, But you're right. It's really hard to get a job in Rust outside of crypto right now because that seems to be where most of the jobs on the job websites are for. But to me, that doesn't mean that that's not the only jobs. That just is the only jobs where people are desperate enough to find developers that they're posting jobs. The rest of the Rust jobs are probably being filled through networking or just hiring non-Rust devs and training them to be Rust, and then not necessarily advertising they're looking for Rust jobs. So it's interesting. So basically, networking is probably the way to get non-crypto Rust jobs right now. Which I know for us, a lot of us aren't great at networking, so that's a hard pill to swallow. Totally understand, and that doesn't make it any less true though. All right, Puri, if you can't find it, let me know, and I can send you a message like on Discord or something once I have time to go look for it. All right, so show pets. This is where we want. So all pets. So get all pets. So this is this one. We have all pets. Um. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to put this here. So I get this all here, and then I for loop this. So really, I want to match around you. So, this is actually, I put you there. I put you here. And then we do like species. I think that's how it's going to work. Where's the closing to you? Did I lose you? So for pet. And that's okay. Then species. So we have pet. Missing deleted at. Okay, I must have accidentally deleted something there. Okay, so this gets you pet. This gets you the species, and then instead of the species ID, this becomes name last fed. We just do the same thing here, don't we? Just say your species, and we only care about name. Ooh, but that's a problem. Name as species name. Stop. Then I can come and do species name like that. Oh, I missed a comma. Syntax error. I don't want that to close there. Oh, I did the wrong. Do I do the wrong thing? So for this species, you need to have a closing parentheses there. Oh, and probably not that. Okay, no following comma on that. You are. Can I find struct? Oh, can I find you? Import you. Can I not do as? Wait. There's a. We already have a name in here, so I can rename in a use statement, but I don't think I can rename in here, can I? Oh, can I do it with a colon? I don't remember. Oh, maybe. Okay, that's how it works. Cool. Unused variable species ID. Yeah, so we stop using you, so I can get rid of you. And yeah, we're done with that file. So now that's happy. This is update pet name, and I only need the pet information, so we're just going to say pet and species. Oh, and that's everything. So if I run this now, show pets, there we go. We have all the things now in here. Perfect. That's what we wanted to see. Ignore the appa as a dog, the misspelled appa, and the other one because I was that was an entire thing of me misremembering the show. And then I was like, do I need to create a new species for it? And then I did. But okay, so that works. Okay, so we start. Here's the starting code for the good old species. All right, so first thing going to do is start from um, start from the pets table and do an inner join. We have three choices for joins: inner, outer, inner left, and right. It's out of scope to discuss what those joins do. But if you'd like to learn more about them, take a look at, and then I should go find some learning resources for this. It's been a long time. I used to have like a list of things, but that was when I was working at a school, and that was technically IP, so I had to like get rid of that list. You think you read somewhere, or Parrot, you think you read somewhere that Diesel does not have async support, might be wrong on this, whereas something like CORM has async support. Any reason you prefer Diesel over other SQL libraries? So the the truth is my favorite one right now is SQL X Rust. I like that one the most over any ORM. It's lightweight, it's fastest, it's wicked fast, it's very fast, it's extremely fast. And also I just enjoy, like, I can just write SQL and it will test it statically for me. Heck yeah, let's do that. This is a course because I have done sort of like have a side course on CORM, although we should do that again because a lot of changes have been made and I never did a course just on CLM directly. So I'm doing Diesel because this has been a requested course for me to do, and I have never done that before. Um, so that's sort of like my defense of like, well, I don't necessarily prefer it, but it's one of those things where, heck, if I'm gonna write a course, I'm gonna also like defend of like reasons why to use it, right? Like, because there's very few times where they're just like really bad choices and just never use this. Um, that being said, Diesel is sync, and it's been sort of described that, and I kind of agree with this idea that there's been this deluge of async libraries that force you into async or of specific async runtime simply because you go with it. And I've run into this myself because I wrote a library just for my own use, and I did not choose Tokyo at the time. I chose a different async library, and now if I ever want to use Tokyo, it's like, oh no, I have to like do some weird wrapping stuff with it, and it's not fun. So I totally understand when libraries decide, just like don't implement and don't choose like a async runtime library, thread it, and then use messages to sort of figure things out. I kind of like that idea. That being said, the maintainer of Diesel has created an async version of Diesel called, I think, Diesel Async. It is in their personal GitHub as opposed to the Diesel official GitHub, but it is still by the maintainer of Diesel. So it's basically unofficial, but as close to official as you can get without making that jump over, if that makes sense. So it is possible to use async Diesel. You just have to be willing to go about it. Yeah. But yes, CORM also has async support. Now, something that I'm not sure how much I like about this is like there's a lot of libraries where it's like, oh, we'll choose like, that has all the different supports, right? Like you can do sync support, you can do async support. That does add a lot of complications to the library because now they have to support all these different things behind feature flags. I don't know how much I like that because I feel it can make bugs pop up when people are working on that. And if the testing library that they're using or the testing, all the tests, I don't know what the words for it are. If all the tests that they're using aren't like super high quality and good, you could easily miss something. Heck, even with good tests, you can miss something. And maybe it won't even been hit in whatever library you're using until much later, unless a lot of other people are using it. So I don't know. I kind of am starting to be won over by the idea of like, let's just go back to not using async await and then let that become an application uh sort of concern. Like us developers on the application side, we'll figure out the async await. That I'm starting to go in that direction. Just say like, screw it, let's just go back to threads. And we'll just use that. It's just gonna be easier in my mind. I don't know. I might be insane and crazy about that, and like nobody cares. What do you all think about that? So in this case, I actually do like the fact that Diesel is async. Sorry, not async. That Diesel is sync, and it sort of gotten me thinking about that a lot more. Okay, so I want SQL join inner outer left right. I don't want necessarily tutorial unless it's like an interactive tutorial. See if there's anything. Oh, is there a garden? Don't see anything there. Maybe interactive. Visual drawing could be interesting. Is this gonna actually show us? Ooh, I like this. Yeah, so you can actually see this a little bit. It doesn't have all of them like full join and all that stuff, but this will this will actually let you see what you're getting. Now, does this show users join? Okay, so this is the join itself. So these are the two tables, right? And then the join is okay. So inner join, select users name likes from users inner join. Okay. When it even has like what you're not seeing here. Yeah, so we're getting all the users and we're only showing, yeah, so then a null for there, whereas we're missing the nulls. Right join, we're only showing that have these, and then I guess outer join or otherwise known as full join. Okay, cool. I like it. But if you'd like to learn more about them, take a look at visual join by, does it have, doesn't really have Python. Um, that will give a visual guide representation. Well, that will allow you, will let show what each type of join is doing. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start from the pets table and do an inner join. We have 3 choices for joins, so then do this. And we're going to go into our queries. Grab all view. Doing that, and we're going to get rid. I'm going to keep the comments in that code so anybody can sort of still see what that looks like. But now we see this, right? And really the only difference here is that I'm starting from the table and I'm doing inner join instead of going straight into select. That's really the only difference. Okay, so next we need to fix all of the errors that Rust Analyzer is showing us. We have several places that are using get all pets. Okay, so we have several places that are using get all pets that now aren't that now have errors because they assume that this only turns the pets. Oh. Before that, we need to also note that we're not creating a new type for this. For 9% left, and I don't have a place to plug in. All right, we're gonna have to end the stream pretty soon for this. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that. Let me, if I unplug you, and I unplug you. So I have a couple things that was plugged in that was taking up some battery, but I don't think that's really gonna help too much. Because I'm streaming, that's gonna take the most power. Like if I take a look at this, yeah, using significant energy. OBS, I wonder why. Okay, so we're gonna have to go pretty soon. Let me see if I can finish up at least writing this part of the join, and then we're probably gonna have to do an emergency stream shutdown. So this will sort of like be the last hurrah for today's stream. And this will be the last stream for the week. I'll be back next week, I believe, but I don't exactly know when. If you're on Discord, I will send messages out on a weekend for that. So that's sort of like my pre-goodbye type thing. So we'll see how long I last before I have to like just turn it off or my laptop just shuts down. Okay. Note that we're not creating a new type for the return. We are just returning a tuple with the pet and the associated species together. Okay. Just returning a tuple with a pet and the associated species together. This is paired with the paired with the select statement, which also uses a tuple. Okay. Next, we need to fix all the errors that Rust Analyzer is showing us. We have several places that we are using get all pets that now have errors because they assume that this only returns the pets. Okay, so for example, in the, see if we can find it, in the update pet name, in the update pet name.rs file, we need to change the query, the get all pets query to look like that. Make okay. The one change that we are interested in is in the show pets file. We'll need to stop. Okay, so we'll need to stop getting, stop extracting, stop destructuring the deleted at field for pets and extract the name of the species. 7%. It's going fast. Not that one. I want show pets. Okay, 3 in there. Notice that we are renaming the species dot name to species name, since we are since we already have a variable named name for the pet. This does simplify this. I mean, I guess it's not simplify things, but I guess that's all that is. Then when we run the let's see, cargo run bin show pets command, we see the pet names and their corresponding species names. That would be you. Okay, we've got review. Let's that's not right. Didn't I have one where it showed Appa as a sky bison? It did. There's every once in a while when I do this, it gets rid of some stuff when I come back to it. Is that a Zellage problem? I feel like that's a Zellage problem. Okay, let's get rid of these Appas. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we have you. And all right, so then this, all right, so that is manual joins, right? Let's implement a join and show pets. Okay, so that's right here. We'll do manual joins. And then the next one is going to be belongs to joins. But I'm at 5%. It's been only a couple minutes. Clearly, I'm running out of battery really fast, but I am still very happy with the stream quality today. We did drop 16.9% of frames, but I'm not convinced that that's anything other than having to do things on battery, sitting next to a wall that may or may not have the lead flakes in it, and doing that. So if I had a like desktop with a more powerful uh, uh, Wi-Fi router in it, or if I somehow like got an antenna out to a window, or maybe if I just wasn't sitting right here, but like a little bit to the left or right, things might be a little bit better. Heck, just powered in, it might be a little bit better. That being said, I don't think we ever dropped at all on the stream today, and the quality was noticeably improved. So I am really happy with this. This will be great. Heck, I was even able to do some compiles, so that's all good. All right. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me today. Let's do our outro for real this time before I die down. Ooh, encoding overloaded. That's what's going on. The encoding got overloaded. Okay, that's what's causing me to drop frames. It's not the internet. It's my system. All right. I now I know something to play around with for next time is changing the encoders. So I usually do my schedule and figure things out on the weekend, and then I post that into Discord. I will obviously know what that schedule is, like Saturday or Sunday, and I'll post it there. So if you're on Discord, love to see you there. If you're not, well, we'd love to have you. I have a link to that in the description on YouTube or in the Bang Discord command on Twitch if you want to join. We'd love to have you there. We chat about programming stuff, not just Rust, but other things too. And also sometimes I share pictures of Zilby if you wanna take a look at him anytime. Our stream cat, which he joined us but didn't want to be on camera, so he joined me really. So with that being all said and done, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.